Welcome to Lost Culture, your one-stop destination for everything pop culture. My name's Astøn, and I'll be your host for today's episode of Lost Movie News. Now, before we get started, make sure you like, comment, subscribe, share so your friends can see, and let's jump to our first topic of the day: Mission Impossible 6. So, Mission Impossible 6, the director finally announced that Henry Cavill is actually going to be part of the cast, and I like that. I'm a big fan of Henry Cavill. I liked him in Man of Uncle. That's a very overlooked film. It's very underrated. I enjoyed that film. When you get a chance, you should definitely go out and check out Man of Uncle. Not really go out. You can actually watch it at home now. Like, you can stream it, do whatever you want. It was a great film. I definitely think you should check that out. So for me personally, I think it's a good role for Henry Cavill. He could step outside of the Man of Steel and stretch his legs a little bit. I don't know what role he's going to be playing. He's obviously going to be playing a sidekick to Tom Cruise of some nature, and that's pretty cool to see. He's not going to be forced to be playing like a guy, the Man of Steel. And I think this is good for him. He gets to get his name out to another franchise where hopefully this one's actually accepted well, because we know as of right now he's only been like one film that actually hit with the critics, and that's Man of Steel, and that's and even that film is very divisive. There's still some people it's like 50-50. So still some people who liked it, some people who didn't enjoy it. So that's one of those films he needs to get out and get in front of a film that actually going to get the critics and the fans in, to where he can get a bigger audience for himself outside just the Superman audience. Because if he keeps going, I don't want him to get pigeonholed into this role. I know he was up for the James Bond role, so we see. I'm hoping he just doesn't get pigeonholed into this Man of Steel type role, where he's like the godly character who has to be on his best behavior at all time. I don't want to see him get pigeonholed into that role. I don't want to see him get stuck into a dying universe. And hopefully this will be one of those films that give him his breakout, where he can start getting more roles, more options, instead of just like spy movies or the Boy Scout type role. Now, moving on from there, we got Aquaman. So we just got seems like it'll be a lot of little DC in here. So we see Henry Cavill's joining the Mission Impossible role. We got Jason Momoa's Aquaman is being pushed back. So it was supposed to come out October of 2018. Now it's going to be pushed back until a couple of days before December. They didn't give an exact date. Let's know it's right before Christmas. So is that something to be worried about? Not really. I don't think there's anything we should be worried about. I don't know how this film is going to fare against Star Wars, though. That's my biggest issue. I don't know how this film is going to fare against Star Wars, because 2017 we have Young Han. No. As of right now, there is no Star Wars slated for that month. So hopefully, if Star Wars does not go back to that day, I think it's going to be good for them. But if Star Wars goes back to their usual December release date, I feel like it's doing good. But I still see Aquaman doing good. I'm thinking about it, I don't see Aquaman doing well in the Christmas season, honestly. I don't feel like it's that big event movie that a lot of people will go out with their family. It's a superhero movie, so it's going to get a lot of I think it's going to do numbers, but I don't feel like it's going to do as good as a Star Wars would do. That's my big issue. I think they really should rethink about when they're going to release this Aquaman film, and try their best to hit their market for October. Now, I'm a big Jason, and it saddens me to say that, because I am a big Jason Momoa fan, and I'm not gonna say I'm a big Aquaman fan, because no one's a big Aquaman fan, but I am a fan of the new Aquaman from the 52 universe. I definitely like how they put that new flavor on Arthur. I love the way he's more of a rebel. Even with the Jason Momoa, he's obviously a variance from the 52 one. There's no more blonde hair or anything, but he's still that badass. He still had that badass look. He still had that badass persona that they're going for with the new 52 Aquaman. And I'm definitely digging it. So this is one of those films I'm definitely going to go check out. I just don't feel like if there's another movie, more family-related film, I'm probably going to go see that over Aquaman. And Aquaman probably going to get kicked back into like a January review for me. Like, honestly, just being honest, I feel like it would do better in the October date that it was planning for. They should definitely go for that. Now, with that being said, now that Aquaman has moved back to December, it left a void for something else to fill that position. I wonder what's filling that position. That's going to be, Sony has announced the Venom SpiderMan spinoff movie is going to take place. It will have to take place, but it's going to be opening in that October slot that Aquaman just vacated. Now, this is another one of those films that I don't understand why they're coming out with. Because Spider-Man just joined the Marvel Cinematic Universe, which as of right now seems like it's doing well. It's very lucrative for both sides of the team, like both sides of the coin, Marvel and Sony. So I don't know why they're doing this Venom film, because I don't know how it's going to fit. Because however they do this film, unless it's just like a one-off or something, it's going to be a whole different universe, which we heard rumors of that too, which I think is stupid, dumb, because they just got their Spider-Man into this universe. Why would they go do this alternate universe Venom film? But there's so many issues I have with Sony right now, because I can go on and on about how they're messing up this Spider-Man brand. I think let me gather my thoughts. I like that they have Spider-Man, because then we still get a Spider-Man every couple of years. But it's the fact that they're doing the animated Spider-Man, I think is dumb. I think the Venom film in its own universe is dumb, or even if it's in the Marvel universe, I think it's dumb, because he needs to be presented in the Spider-Man film. And I haven't heard any information about Venom actually being in Spider-Man Homecoming. We know Vulture's going to be there. We know a couple other people are going to be there. I just don't think Venom's going to be in there, and I think it's I don't know how they're even going to do a Venom movie without Spider-Man. That's my question. Will you have him fight Carnage? Actually, that would work. Venom vs. Carnage would be a great film. That actually would work for me. But I just don't think this is a good idea. I just don't think this Venom film is a good idea. Say what you want. I just can't get on. I just can't get on board with this. It's not even a buy or sell segment, but I'm going to sell this story. Like, I don't get on. I'm not on board with this Venom film until I get more information on it. I want to know if it's part of the MCU. I want to know if Venom's actually going to be introduced in the Spider-Man film, or unless Venom is introduced in Infinity Wars. There's rumors that Spider-Man is supposed to be getting his the black suit, the symbiote suit. Under those terms, I will get on board. If we see Venom introduced through Infinity Wars, that's the only way I will be okay with Venom not being in the original Spider-Man Homecoming. That's the only way. If Venom's not in Homecoming, he has to be in Infinity Wars. And now explain how Spider-Man got his symbiote suit, and that's the only way I'd be on board for it. That's really the only way. Hey, Marvel, get on it. That's the only way I'm going to be on board for this Venom film. Now, moving on to our next story of the day. Boy, The Rock has, I don't know how The Rock does it. He has a full schedule. I mean, between Jumanji, at his skyscraper, he has some other stuff too. Like, boy, The Rock is working. I'm going to tell you that. He is working. With that being said, Rampage, The Rock, based on a video game or classic video games from the 80s or the 90s, can't remember exactly when it was, but he's basically playing, I think he's playing the gorilla, and we now got our villain. So our villain is going to be played by Malin Akerman. I think this is a good fit for her. I'm going to like to see, I definitely want to see how this turns out. What can I say? It's Rampage. This It's not even. I'm gonna be there with a big bag of popcorn, stuff in my face, because that's all this movie is gonna be for. There's not gonna be too much of plot. It's gonna be there for monsters fighting monsters. That's what we're here for. That's exactly what I'm showing up for. So regardless of how the, I feel like it's gonna be a Kong thing, like where the humans don't even matter. Only thing that's gonna matter is we see the gorilla on screen fighting the dinosaur. That's all we care. That's all we really care about. Let's get this show on the road. Let's get this out here. And I'm glad to see that this is actually taking place. We've been hearing like The Rock's trying to get this movie into action for a while. Now we see it's picking up more steam. And I'm happy for Dwayne The Rock Johnson that he's getting these. He's actually had enough pull down in Hollywood to get these films, his little passion projects done. So that's all like, give a little round of applause for Dwayne The Rock Johnson. Now, moving on to our next story, The Force. No, it's not the Star Wars, what we're all used to. No, it doesn't have anything to do with Darth Vader. This one is James Mangold, and he's actually fresh off of his success with Logan. He's trying to adapt the Stuart Wilde book, The Force. It came out like 1984. I think this book is ripe to actually, it's time to be adapted. I haven't actually read the story, but I mean, it hasn't been adapted, and the book came out like 1984. Obviously, it's pretty popular, so it's gonna do good. Most books have an audience, so he doesn't have to worry about too much about finding a new audience. So that's a good thing for him. Now, moving on to our next story. It's Friday, so we have to do our box office predictions. With that being said, what I think is coming in number one, I'm going to give number one to Beauty and the Beast. For my two slot, I'm going to give it to Kong. Kong had a big weekend last week, so I feel like he's definitely going to hold his position. I got Logan coming in at 3. Get Out, I feel like it's still strong with the there's no new competition really coming out besides Beauty and the Beast, and Get Out is still rolling off that off the reviews and everything it has. So I definitely think Get Out is going to come in at number 4. And number 5, I feel like the Cavill is going to get kicked out of the top 5, and Batman is going to fill that position. There's going to be a lot of people who can't get into like the showings they want to for Beauty and the Beast. So with that being said, they're definitely going to have to show up. A lot of families are going to show up for the Lego Batman and get that done. So that's who I think my top 5 are going to be. It's Beauty and the Beast, Kong, Logan, Get Out, and Batman. That's what I think is going to be our top 5 for this weekend coming up. Now, let's get to our buy or sell segment. So our buy and sell segment, we get the Outcasts trailer. Now, I'm definitely going to sell this. I'm obviously not the audience they're going for. I've seen this film. I've seen it's like every teenage star off of every sitcom on TV right now is in here. And honestly, I just wasn't attracted to this film. Like, it just seems so stupid to me. Like, it just obviously isn't for me. This film is not marketed for me. I'm definitely not going to see this film. I'm going to sell this trailer. I'm going to sell. I just didn't like it. It just wasn't original to me at all. I'm going to sell it. Now, for our final story of the day, it's the Transformers 5 trailer. I'm going to buy this trailer, baby Dinobots and all. Tell me how you feel about the baby Dinobots in the comment section below. I honestly like them. Think they're adorable. They're definitely going to sell some toys. Those baby dinosaurs are going to be plush. They're probably going to be plushes. They're going to sell that. The little blue scooter, they're going to sell a hell of a lot of those toys. Like, they're printing money at this point. I'm glad to see that they actually figured out a good selling point for these movies. One thing I do hate about this trailer is you'll see it in my review, in my little trailer reaction. I said the same thing. The TIE Fighters. I don't understand why they have TIE Fighters in Transformers. I don't understand it. And going through this trailer, you can see they're definitely setting up Bumblebee for a spinoff. That's one of those things that kind of bugged me too. Is definitely like they're trying to set up Bumblebee up for a spinoff. I respect it. Get your money how you do it. And that's all I had to say about that. And With that being said, that's really all we have. Thank you guys for tuning in and supporting Lost Culture. As always, if you like what you saw, be sure to hit that thumbs up button. And if you haven't subscribed already, be sure to subscribe. Now here goes our previous video, and here goes a recommended video. And as always, don't forget to stop by our site to pick up one of our Lost Culture t-shirts. And as always, stay lost.